Hello everyone, I'm Navala and welcome to this guide on the minigame Fruit Chute in Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. The Fruit Chute is a rather quick minigame where only a few players can qualify each time. It involves players running up a conveyor belt while they dodge incoming fruit coming from all directions. Doing the Fruit Chute can be tricky at times because of all the fruit coming at you. But I'm going to tell you how to breeze through this minigame every time. First, let me talk about the various obstacles in the Fruit Chute. So we have our oranges and apples, which these fruits are basically like balls. They will shoot out of the cannon, land on the platform, and then roll. If they hit a player or object, they will bounce and can go over your head, but otherwise they just roll, and so their movements are pretty predictable. Next we have bananas, which are a crescent shape and they are very bouncy when they hit the platform. Bananas will bounce off the platform as soon as they hit it, and because they are a crescent shape, bananas will usually go over your head. That is, unless you get unlucky and the backside of the banana hits you instead. When bananas bounce, they will usually lean more towards the left or right side when they bounce, so be aware of this and just try to do your best at predicting their movement. Now, the watermelons are just large ovals. The watermelons are not a complete oval though, because they do have a triangle shape cut out of them. So you can get lucky where if the watermelon rolls over you, you will land in that triangle space spot and it won't knock you at all. But that is incredibly rare. And like the bananas, they are kind of more bouncy than the apples and oranges, but they also can roll straight as well. The next obstacle is this stick that goes flying down the conveyor belt. Now this stick does not always go straight down the middle of the conveyor belt. I have seen it spawn more towards the left or more towards the right as well. But it can only spawn from the finish line platform, so it never wanders off too far from the middle of the conveyor belt platform. Now another thing about this stick is that sometimes when it spawns, it will spawn bouncing out of the finish line, which means that if you jump prematurely, it will hit you in the face and knock you over. Now if you stick to the left or right side, this obstacle is not a problem for you at all because you will never encounter it until you're at the finish line, and usually it does not spawn on top of you, so honestly, it's not a problem at all. Now the last pieces of fruit are the blueberries and the strawberries. These fruits do not spawn until a few seconds into the game, usually when players are about halfway or more up the platform. These berries fly quite quickly through the air and they are smaller than the apples and oranges, but they have the same properties where they can bounce around and hit other players and knock you down. However, if you play the Fruit Chute correctly, these berries should never be a problem because you will be near the finish line by the time they come out of the cannons. With all the obstacles out of the way, let's get into the strategy. My first piece of advice for you is to not immediately jump off the platform at the start. The first thing you want to do is check where you are in comparison to everyone else. A lot of the times if you jump off the platform first, everyone else bumps into you, and also the first barrage of fruit hits the players at the same time. So jumping off immediately most often gets you knocked down, and then you have to respawn, and then you have to jump back down. So just wait at least a second for all the players to jump off the platform first, and then make your attempt to jump off the platform. Also, when you are jumping off the platform, make sure to dive right before you hit the conveyor belt, because if you dive, then you will usually stand up immediately, and then can continue to run up the conveyor belt. So what you should do is just wait for all the players to jump off the platform first, and while they're jumping off, or even on the loading screen, pick a side you want to stick to, either the left or right side of the platform. Once you have picked a side, then make sure to jump off towards the chosen side. I personally prefer to go left, but right is just as good. Now, the reason you want to stick to the sides is because this is the safest part of the conveyor belt platform. You see, if you try to go up the middle of the platform, you have nothing to protect you from the fruit except for the other players. and it is incredibly hard to dodge the fruit while you're in the middle of the conveyor belt platform. If you are on the left or right side, however, you have these triangles that can be used to protect you. You can use these triangles to protect yourself from fruit because fruit that hits the triangles will bounce off it and usually go over your head. Or you can use it as a barrier to prevent yourself from getting knocked out, because if a piece of fruit hits you right in front of the triangle, you'll be knocked into the triangle and get stuck on the triangle, and then you can get back up and continue to run up the conveyor belt. Also, keep in mind the players around you, because they can also be used as meat shields if an unavoidable piece of fruit comes at you. These triangles are just super helpful in dodging fruit and staying on the platform. So once you get the hang of using them, it is incredibly easy to reach the finish line of the fruit chute. Yes, it is simple as that. Just wait for the first barrage of fruit to go through and the first wave of players to jump down, then make your way down to the platform once the pathway is clear. Remember to choose the left or right side to stick to, use the triangles and other players as your personal meat shields. And if you follow that, then you will be winning the fruit chute every single time. Now, if you're wondering about jumping or diving, I highly recommend do not dive or jump while you're on the conveyor belt. However, once you get to the end of the conveyor belt, you can jump off just to get to the finish line faster. Of course, if you see a flying stick coming at you and you have to jump, jump if you need to, but jumping up the conveyor belt will not get you there faster. So that's all I have for you in this guide today. I hope it helps you out in conquering the fruit chute, and comment below on what minimap you would like to see a guide for next, because I want to make a guide that will help you out in Fall Guys. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more Fall Guys content. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, good luck getting your own crowns, and see ya next time.